Hi everybody, David Bott here from OutsideOurBubble.com. Today I bring to you a TPS system from Eeztire products, the Eeztire. And I'm doing this only because I already have one, but I asked the guys at Eeztire products to send me a new kit so I can basically go through the quick setup process of what makes this such a unique product. Actually, I shouldn't say unique. It's easy for sure, like the product name. There are other products that are similar to this, but I find this one, after the 4 products I've tried, I found this one to be the best so far for my use. If you're looking into TPMSs, you already know the benefits of needing one. When you're on rigs like this, you have a tag axle or even a dually in the back, you can blow that inside tire and never even know it. Your coach will be held up by the other tires. You have a slow leak, you'll never know it until it's too late and you build up too much heat and have a blowout. The second thing is your tow vehicle. If you're towing a car and blow a tire, on a rig like these, you'll never feel it. There's just so much torque and power behind these engines that you really got to make sure you're monitoring the tire pressures and the temperatures and what have you. Any case, let's get on to the product now. Okay, so let's do the opening of the Eeztire tire pressure monitoring system. This is a brand new box. Let's see how it comes in. Basically, get a welcome letter, a thank you letter, your packing slip, product manual. There's the product itself. Looks like they include us a business card in case you need help, which is great. Nice little touch. And the monitor, tire sensors. I also ordered it with a repeater. This is to repeat or reproduce the signal from the back of the coach to make it stronger. On the longer coaches, you want to make sure you have good reception. So having a booster or a repeater is a good idea. Comes with a mount, and underneath we have the other sensors, because I have a 10 tire system. So this is the 6 sensors and the 10 sensors, and then looks like your wiring kit for plugging into a cigarette lighter, and also a hard wiring kit to hardwire it right to a 12-volt circuit so you don't have to touch it. Also in here these are the keys to remove and put the sensors on the tires. These are for the security part of the tire sensors, which I don't use, we'll get to in a second. And it looks like another mount. So in regards to the tire sensors themselves, this is how they come. They have on there anti-theft ring, if you will. So basically it's just a plastic housing that the sensor is inside, and in order to put this on and off your tire, you have to use this key system that goes around it so you can turn this nut right here on your valve stem. Me, I don't use them. I take them right off, unscrew it, sensor comes right out, and you can see there's a big difference in size now. The reason I do that is because A, it's a smaller device, and it's just, if I ever need to do something with my tire pressure, I don't have to worry about looking for the key or anything. I've also never heard of anybody having any of these stolen off their coaches. Not that it doesn't happen, I've just never personally experienced it in our 5 years that we've been traveling, and I haven't heard of anybody ever losing one of these due to theft. So I take them off just for ease of use. So let's get into talking about programming the monitor, setting that up, and then going into the tire pressure settings as far as setting up the monitors to read these transmitters. So setting up the TPMS is quite simple. The first thing you do is you have to set your tire pressures for each of your axles, and then your temperature and pressure settings also. Got a little noisy here in the park today, so we'll just have to deal with that as we go. But the monitor system itself is very simple. Power is on the side. There is a battery in this. It already has a full charge when it showed up, so that's why I can do this without any power hooked up to it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is hold down your set button here, and it's going to go into programming mode. And then the first thing you set is your units of measurement. In this case, we use PSI here in the US, and if you wanted to change that, you can just hit the button, the bar, hit it again, your up and down arrow buttons, and you can change the settings. Hit set. Go to the next option. In this case, it's do you want Fahrenheit or do you want Celsius? Again, you can change that here. We're going to do Fahrenheit. And then the next thing is your front axle. What is the max PSI reading for your alarm threshold? Now this will vary from coach to coach depending on how you run your tire loads and what have you. On my coach, I run 100 psi, excuse me, 105 psi on the front tires. Now when you're going down the road, you're going to build up to about 119 psi based on the heat made from the tires going down the road. So I want to make sure I'm well over that for a high pressure reading. So I've set this to be 135. The low pressure reading I set to 84. The reason being there, which seems so much lower than my set point, is because at cold nights, if you forget to turn off your monitor, or when you go to start up your coach in the morning and you turn your monitor on to get the readings, what's going to happen there is the tire pressure could be so low from the cold in the winter months that it's going to set off an alarm. So then I go on to the next axle. In this particular case, this would be for our regular dually tires here in the back. Same thing, PSI high, PSI low, based off of, once again, what I feel my readings should be based on my high pressure and low pressure settings for my tire pressure. Then that would be the tag axle, and then this is your tow vehicle. Tow vehicle, all axles at one time, because usually your tow vehicle, all the pressure points and what have you are set the same for all the tires. Once again, high point, low point, and you're done. So then you just hold down the, oh, I'm sorry, that was high temperature came up. You can set your temperature, just keep that at the default. Hold down the set button, and now they're locked in position. So now that is set to go to start putting the sensors on your coach. Okay, so setting your tire pressure sensors onto your tires is very simple. Once again, since I removed the safety housing, the anti-theft housing, I don't have to use that mechanism, and it's really easy for me to reach into here to put this on the valve stem. So all you have to do is hold down the code button until the tire sensors come up, and you'll see that the FFF is flashing. That means there is no signal or no sensor programmed at that location. So we're doing the passenger front right now. So all I'm going to do is basically say I'm going to hit the code button one time for that position. And the way I do it, there's different ways you can do this, but the way I do it is very simple. I hit the code button, I screw the sensor on the valve stem, it reads that setting, and that setting is now, that sensor is now tied to that setting, or to that position in the tire. So here I go, code, and it took the reading, and now I have a tire reading right there. So now it just read that, and now when I can move on to the next tire and do the same thing on another tire and take the next reading, or put the next sensor on, and I'll be good. When you're done with that, you just hold the code button down to lock it in. Since I've only done one tire at this time, that's the only one that's showing up. Now once you do the tires, each tire will show up and it'll cycle through in 5-second increments. Right now you can see this tire is reading 102 PSI and it's 75 degrees. It's as simple as that. Eeztire. It really is a simple way to go. Thanks. This is David Bott from OutsideOurBubble.com.